Yes. Major rule in the kink community: never waste a dom's time. Life is short. Life is short. Don't waste my time. I don't want to waste yours. So we're taking this episode, a special episode of YKF Weekends, to talk about time and why you should never waste a dom's time. Is there hope for time? Is there redemption for time wasters? I don't know. Time keeps on ticking. Time is the greatest tyrant of all. Everything we talk about is consensual. We're adults. We talk about adults. We're adults. We're law-abiding citizens. We pay our taxes. We don't want trouble. We keep things inside, behind closed doors. This is a little glimpse into this lifestyle. Don't judge. It's not cool. There's a loneliness epidemic, and that's why you're miserable.
Fetish taking over the world. A lot of people right up.
Ladies and gentlemen, oh, I love these people. I love them so much, and that we start a little late because we want to do it right, because we don't want to waste your time as an audience, but everyone seems to be wasting ours, and many people are wasting yours out there in the kink community. Life is short, so we're talking about time wasters. Welcome. My name is Nicholas Tannick. This is your Kinky Friends YKF. Your Kinky Friends. It's a podcast. It's a lo-fi punk rock style podcast. Trying to capture a moment of kinky people. Just consider me a kinky journalist, and I'm with you on this. I'm going through this community with you on this path. You know what I mean? I'm your friend. Go to yourkinkyfriends.com. Cash App. We need money to survive. I'm not asking or anything like that. We're just saying we need it. And if you feel generous, please donate and get 15% off all inventory at lockedandlost.com with offer code YKF. And soon the YKF marketplace is about to kick sunshine. Right now, as we speak, my producer is working on mugs and other things for you. Very, very fun. And thanks to Gersbeck, who was on the show last week from Domme Industries. Oh my God, what an amazing interview that was. What a great guy. Hilarious, very funny guy. Give you some insight in why comedy and kink go together. So, time wasters. We are with the Bussy Boss, Anna Valentina, and we are with Mistress Sophie from the UK, and of course, we are with Claudia out in Arizona. If you don't know by now, you better ask. So let's get on with time wasters. Never waste a dom's time. How do you define a time waster in the BDSM community? One thing I know about Mistress Claudia, she never wasted any my time, and on top of that, there's this energy where I never want to waste her time. Like, every time she says, it's insightful, it's meaningful, and I cherish every single second I get with this woman. So, Mistress Claudia, how do you define a time waster in the BDSM community?
Well, a time waster, number one, this is our profession. So a time waster is someone that continuously contacts you, whether it's through email or through text or trying to call you, and they never want to book a session. They're constantly trying to get what they can. And over time, we know who you are. We can feel the vibe. So if you're a time waster, we know. It is so annoying when, oh, I want to be your slave. Oh, can I be your live-in sub? Oh, can I do this? And then it's like, I don't even know you. Like, why? Like, why are you wasting my time? Right? It's like time. They just, anyways, we know when you're wasting our time, just so you know that. So if you have any intention, the nicest thing you can do, and the total respect, and it's not all about money, but respect our time. It's valuable. your time is valuable. Our time is valuable. And if you're trying to get handouts, we know, and you're just going to get completely shunned from every mistress that you contact because we know your game. I guess, you know, you learn the vibe. And Mistress Sophie, you have a great point of you give them a certain amount of communication before you're like, okay, we're done. You know, I know you've mentioned that before.
Well, let me ask you this. This goes out to the group. We'll start with Anna. All right. Does every fetish have a different style of time wasting? And I'm thinking about it this way. We could talk about stereotypes for a second. So sissies. A lot of sissies I know are very, you know, because they beg, you're supposed to beg for release, or you're supposed to, you know, or so the begging and that comes into play. Pain sluts have a certain style. Male doms have a certain style. You know what I mean? And even the female doms, there's a stereotype to them too. Does every fetish have a different style of time wasting, and which one wastes your time the most? Anna.
Yeah, I think so. Different things, like, okay, with pain people or spanking people, as soon as you hear no mercy session, nope, no time wasting. With like DS, whatever, I want to be owned somewhat, nope, time wasting. So for me, you know, I think the more extreme things like forced buy and scat, do things that like 90% of the people who are like, oh, I want to have a session, are 95% of the people who, you know, they're not going to come through necessarily. So they, you know, get deposits and stuff, but it's very much like that. Like those, the more extreme things are like, oh, oh boy, you know, do I dare? And this kind of thing. It's like, you know, yeah, like you said, sissies are about, it's like, there are some things, well, actually I would say, like, in all cases, there's this like certain amount of the calling and discussing about the fetish is the fetish. You know, it's like that pretty much satisfies the, you know, the fantasy scenario.
Yeah, they're trying to get it for free. They're trying to get like free, you know, kicks, you know. And Nick, I sent you some of the emails that I got, and that was like,
yes.
So you can see what I deal with on a regular basis. You're like, what the, you know, it's like a novel. And then you send me another novel, and it's like, listen, you want to book a session, you're a new client, I require a deposit. What don't you get? And after they don't listen, I just don't even respond ever again. They could send me 5 million novels and they're never going to get a response.
This is like this I'm looking at this. Did Sophie leave? Oh,
yes,
I guess Sophie. But I'm reading what you sent me, Sophie. I don't know if I'm allowed to read it, but wow. So there's a list. This is a big. I'm not gonna like, but like it's long, right?
Oh, I can't wait for this.
Can I just like paraphrase it because it's long?
Where is Sophie?
Oh, she's I don't know, she had connection problems. She'll come back.
Oh, okay.
I hope she comes back. Yeah, but so you sent me this list that this person is demanding. There's the branding.
Near Sophie.
You.
Yeah, no, read it. Yeah.
Oh, all right, good. All right.
Yeah.
You're in for a
This
treat.
is what I deal with.
Oh boy.
Wow. Okay. So this is my bucket list. 1, branding. This time your initials on the head of my cock, so I see them every time I pee. You will gorilla tape my cock to a piece of pipe so my cock head can't move at all. This time, use the butane torch I gave you to get irons red hot before you use them. Hold them with pliers. Then you can make perfect brands and burn my cock head deep and permanently. This is how he opens up. That's his opener.
Now, that's the guy that brought a drill to the session.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, let me read on.
Okay.
Let me read on. It's great. Okay.
Wait.
2.
Just fucking throw that out. But
2. Still want the cockhead padlock. I don't know what that is. Is that like a
He wants me.
like a
He
Prince
wanted
Albert?
me to. No, he wanted me to drill a hole in the side of his cock and then stick the padlock through the head hole and out through the side. And this guy was such a passive. I cannot stand bottom topping passive aggressive people. And so after I provided a service, he like started, I had to like duct tape his whole head because he was screaming so bad, but he said that I was crazy. And I'm like, how am I crazy? You're the one who brought the drill to the session. You know, one thing about me is I am the most level whatever
Yes.
person
I can
until
attest to that.
just don't, you know what? Don't mess with me. Like you want to be passive aggressive or you want to just like test my limits, buddy, it's not going to work. And that guy left with a hole in the side of his cock and a padlock through his head of his wiener. And he thought I was crazy. And I branded it. I didn't brand his cock, but I branded his balls a few times. And he's just a jerk. I didn't like him. I didn't like him at all. His name was Bill.
Nick,
Oh, you don't have to give the names. Sorry.
I don't even care. He can go screw.
so bad I had to duct.
Well, he goes on. That's just one, right? He goes on. This is, I mean, and keep in mind, this is how this happened. This is how I received this. So Miztress Claudia was so generous enough to, because we're working on the show. She's going to co-host the show. So she wants to make the show good. So number 2, still want the cockhead padlock, but need to use a scalpel this time. I will insert it and twist it this time, because there were other times. Right? This time, we will cauterize the cut. 3, something new for both of us. Ooh, he's thinking of you, Claudia. Something new for both of us. I'm thinking, I don't need my scrotum anymore. That's what he's thinking. You know, you just have that.
Everyone just thinks of not wanting their scrotum anymore. This guy is like, there's something, I mean, he thinks there's something seriously wrong with me, but there is something seriously wrong with this guy. He is so, I do not like, he's a client I don't like. I don't like him.
Remove the scrotum completely. You'll enjoy that.
Oh,
Yeah, that's
that.
what I always want to do is remove everyone's scrotum. God.
Getting to the scalpel again all around the base of it, but you must cauterize all up the way as you go. My balls deserve the freedom at last. And then 4, we need to do something serious. Now's not the time to be. I thought he was really serious. That I really did. Any ideas? My balls can be cooked, skewered, holes drilled, wired up to electricity, nails driven through them, bolts through the steel weights, add to them to keep them hanging low. Why not like make them Christmas ornaments? You know, make them ping pong balls. What else could you do with testicles that you remove from somebody?
Pickle them, put them in jars,
Mini coconuts maybe.
bronze them, make them into earrings, necklace, you know, Benoit, you know, meditation balls.
See, Mistress Claudia, you should be thanking him. He's just giving you inventory for your new art store.
See, the funny thing is that he is a time waster, but I actually did meet with him. But,
Oh, here, let me continue this. So it tells the story. You know, cook them, eat. The thing is, those free balls you get in them, use them. Are you still game for this? So I'm like, wow, and we're joking around like you really enjoy this, and then so I'm like, I hear this and I'm thinking this is just a guy sending another email to a Domme, and I'm really thinking, and then Miss Claudia goes, he brought the Jill and harassed me when I wouldn't do it, and he freaked out. So it's like, well, of course, it did something. I love my kinky friends. All right, let's move on. Impact of the community. What are emotional and practical impacts of time wasters? Like, so, for example, I'm not naming any names. I'm not calling anybody out, but I know some people who go to like dungeons, and if they mess up a scene, if they interrupt a scene, it's interrupting a scene. There's multiple people. It's not just the people in the scene. It's the dungeon master. It's the people serving. It's the people doing scenes around them. Everything's a ripple effect. You know what I mean? And time wasting by not showing up, by not, being slow with your reaction and delivery and stuff like that. So what kind of impact does time wasters have on the community in general, not just you?
You know how everybody, all these subs complain about, oh, it's so hard to find a good Dom, and oh, Dom's retired. This is one of the fucking reasons why. If you want to know why Doms are hard to find, and if Doms mean something to you, which for time wasters they don't, but full
Oh,
it
right.
huh? Okay.
I can hear you. I can't see you.
Oh, can you see me now?
No.
God damn it.
Mm-mm.
All right, let me try. Can you see me now?
I can hear you. Finish your thought, please.
Okay, all right. So anyway, so this is one of the big factors that contributes to burnout is a lot of energy, a lot of we have to build up a thick skin. We have we have to, in a certain amount of good faith, read inquiries that come in. So like even just a few seconds of that where it's like, oh, disappointment. Okay, fine. And it's like I was thinking about this, like it's kind of like going into it's like going into a wine bar. It's like, oh, would you like a taste? And okay, fine. But then you ask for, like, go back every week and you ask for taste and you never actually buy anything. Like that establishment is going to be like, yeah, you're just taking advantage of this good faith thing that we're offering you so that you can try and make a good purchase. But you're just, or like, that it's that kind of thing. Like, again, you're abusing people's trust, and with being a dom takes a lot of trust, but it is a finite fucking resource. If you waste a dom's time, you're wasting her trust. You waste those things, guess what? Eventually she's not going to be there anymore for you. And for people who see time wasters, tell them to cut that shit out. If you are cut that shit out, because you're ruining everybody's good time. It's a very, very selfish thing.
It's funny because of my health issues, the liver transplant. I notice myself saying things like, "I'm living on borrowed time," or "We could fucking die tomorrow." We're not promised. I say that a lot, and some people are like, "Oh God," they get uncomfortable. This is a way to stop time wasters. It's like you could die tomorrow. Seriously, like anything could happen. If you want to do this now. If not, it's disrespectful in every level. It does nothing. Seriously, life is short. Live. And what are the red flags? What are the most common red flags? And what are some? What I'm really interested in? What are some flags that most people don't realize are red flags?
Anyway, Sophie.
Yeah, this is something I have actually done quite a lot on, because I do really see a lot of red flags. A lot. And one of the most common ones I actually see is when people ask me for information that's already on my website. So they'll ask me something like, they'll say to me, how much do you charge per hour? What sort of hours do you do? It's sort of like, what kinks do you cover? And I literally sit there just pulling my hair out going, it's all on my fucking website. Just read it. Come on, people. And you literally, it just makes you want to go, yeah. It's just, yeah. So that for me is an immediate red flag. So if I ever see anything like that come up in my messages, on my emails, I'm literally just like, there are more red flags flying with me than in the Soviet Union.
The other one is, are you available right now? Like, are you there right now?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Right now.
Same.
I need
Same.
I need to see you right now. Oh yeah, like I'm sitting in my closet in my latex, cat suit, waiting for you to reach out to me and ask if I'm available right now.
It's like,
Like,
I'm a Dom, not
really?
Deliveroo. This isn't Deliveroo, we're Doms. Come
Yeah,
on.
so, it's like when you make a doctor's appointment, okay, you make the appointment and you keep the appointment and you go to the appointment on time. It's just so frustrating, or it pisses me off if you're meeting someone and this isn't being a time waster, but it's any form of disrespect. Okay, now you're going to see someone that is going to dominate you, that is going to take control of the situation. Why are you, if there's any form of disrespect, that's a huge red flag. And they're like this, toodles, because that is a big thing with me. When someone's like, first of all, this person, I don't know, their email is like shady something. Okay, well, right there's a red flag, shady, whatever. But they'll contact me like today. Are you available today? No. Are you available tomorrow? No. Like, no. What don't you get about having to pre-book a session? I don't know you. You need to leave a deposit. I am not wasting my time. So I just started in the past year requiring a deposit that's applied to the session, because I don't have time to, like you said, Nick, our time is so valuable. Everyone's time is valuable. Okay. It's not just like, oh yeah, my time's more valuable than yours. No, all of our time is precious. We don't have enough time in the day. And so, when someone even like remotely sends you 20 emails that are like 6,000 words long, they're a time waster. I could see maybe like once, or if you're having like some manic, like, whoa, I gotta, email this Domme and tell her everything about me, but it's not like they're doing it every single day, or they don't listen, like if I have to tell someone more than 3 times, you're a new client, I don't know you, you require, in order to continue this conversation, I want a deposit. And then they'll just contact me again, but they'll never hear from me again, and I wouldn't do that to other people. I wouldn't do that to anyone. So why is it, you ran out of like, quarters to pay someone, or I don't know, like, go away. I can see you now. I can see you.
Hey, thank you. All right. Sorry, guys. I'm back.
We're talking about red flags, and of course, there's the people who don't pay, people don't tribute, or people have nothing to offer. Let's put it that way. Because I know a lot of DOMs, it's not always about money. If someone can fix something,
it's not always about money, Nick. You're right. It is not always about money. Like there's times when, if I have a session that's an hour, sometimes it's 3 hours. It's more about the connection, but it's also about mutual respect. And a lot of these red flaggers, they don't have the respect that they should have, not just for contacting a Dom, but you wouldn't do that. I mean, would you call a doctor's office like 30 times? Like, hey, I want to come in right now. You have to make an appointment. Well, hey, can I make an appointment like now? It's like, you don't do that at, for other things. Why do you expect that, or call the doctor's office? Oh, hey, I have this issue and I was wondering if you could help me. But you don't do that. So why, it's so weird.
If it was that much of an emergency, they'd be dialing 911.
I know. Why are they contacting us?
One thing I want to talk about is boundaries. Boundaries are not walls of fear; they're gates of respect. That's what I said.
Ooh, I like that.
So I'm gonna go around the room. I'm gonna end with Claudia. Let's start with Anna.
Me?
Yes.
Oh, what are we talking about?
What do you do when people do not respect your boundaries?
What do I do when people don't respect my boundaries? Is
not in general. I'm talking kink people, like clients, people on the internet, trying to.
as calmly and quickly as possible, remove myself from that situation. We are grown as people, and if you don't understand boundaries, or you don't understand my boundaries, you probably need some kind of therapy. Let's go back to kindergarten and know how to treat other people, something like that. I'm not your fucking therapist. I'm not your mom, so on and so forth. If somebody, well, first of all, that's why we screen, so that before somebody gets into my session, they respect my boundaries and so on. But if they're not respecting boundaries, like ooh, I've had some people who, again, like, will contact me repeatedly. I've cut a person off because they just wouldn't stop calling me, like, after they had seen me, and like, okay, you're my client now, and then they just wouldn't stop calling me, and it's like, okay, look, you can't. And it was like, look, you cannot call me, first of all, just because if I'm busy or something, you call me 3 times in a row, that's just going to piss me off. That doesn't get me to pick up the phone. That makes me think, okay, you're a child. You're a selfish child. That's not in any way going to make me want to give you my time. There are numerous ways for somebody to not respect boundaries, but anything that emotional, physical, time, just anything where, especially if you've already communicated no. Don't call me by my first name, like, right off the bat, unless you're a friend of a friend, kind of, introduce yourself properly. Don't just be like, hey, I know that you work in this industry, so you're going to see me, right? That's not how this works. Like, we don't just take every client who contacts us.
Speaking of names, is it a major red? How much of a red flag is it if they mess up your name? If they call you goddess instead of mistress? If they,
A what?
How bad of a red flag is if something happens where they mess up your name? Even if it's a slight.
The one thing that it really, like, it's like a total, like, almost like you vomit in your mouth type of reaction is if someone calls me babe, or like, hey love, like, I'm like, really? Like, bye-bye. Why aren't you responding? It's like, I would never call, if they ask, someone asks and says, Mistress Claudia, how would you like me to address you? And I would just say, Mistress Claudia. And then if they're like, hey, babe, never. I would never even see them. I don't deal very well with disrespect. I don't disrespect my clients. I'm always on time. I'm always professional. I expect the same, especially if you want to meet me. It's an obvious power exchange that you are going to respect me. So it's a red flag if they call you like weird names or names that you did not agree to.
So Sophie, when someone disrespects your boundaries in the kink community, you're pretty quick-witted. How do you react?
I actually have a little bit of an interesting thing that I do, because obviously for regular listeners, they'll know that I'm autistic. So obviously I'm think in very different ways. I basically hit them with what I like to refer to as an emotional countermeasure. So yes. I know you're all looking at me a bit funny here, but right. So
no, I get that totally.
Yeah. So basically, what I will do, right, is that if I'm dealing with someone who is like ultra thick, I will just be intelligent because I know that they can't match me. But then if I'm dealing with someone who's like being really smart, I'll just act dumb. And that it throws them completely because they just stand there just going, huh? And it's just like,
that's funny.
I actually had one very, very recently where this person didn't, and it's like,
I can't hear you. Oh my god.
You can hear you, Anna.
Yeah.
Oh,
But no, I did. Like I said, I had this person very recently. I'm not going to mention them by name, but I actually referred to them as the 20-ton whale because they were quite on the largest side, and they wanted sort of like adult baby play, which is something I don't do. Anyway, they suggested some other kinks, and I thought, okay, no, I'll come and see you for a session. Anyway, they turn up for the session, and then all of a sudden they just go, okay, well, you're putting me in nappies, you're going to be feeding me with a bottle. And I literally went, what part of adult baby play I don't do did you not understand? You know, and at that point they were like, oh, but you said you do it. And I went, no, you didn't. Stop putting words in my mouth. You know, and
You
they
think-
were like, but no,
wait,
no,
do you
you
think
did.
do you think, Pete, do you get fetishists who, like, just because you're dominatrix, they're like, okay, you're not into that fetish, you don't do that fetish, but if you like me enough, or if I have enough money or something like that, you'll get into it. Maybe you'll
Yeah.
enjoy it. Like, did they try to push it on you ever? Did anyone try
Yeah,
to push
they
it
do.
on?
They do try to push it on me, but again, I have ways and means of getting them to bounce off. And I will almost do it in such a way that it's so subtle that they won't even know that I'm doing it.
Yeah.
It's
Mistress
yeah.
Claudia, when people don't respect your boundaries, you know, what do you do?
If I'm in a session, I call them out on it and I tell them that it's time for them to get punishment for not respecting my boundaries. And they get punished. And they do get punished. And I make sure that they don't forget it, because I that's one thing about me is when, especially if someone, you know, some people think it's cute to test boundaries, whatever. I don't find that cute. I don't find it amusing. And I will, if you know, for example, say someone tries to touch me in a way that isn't allowed, or it's not, you know, they weren't given permission to do, I will make sure that they get punished for that. And even if it's something that they're, huh?
What does that punishment entail?
So it definitely entails extreme corporal punishment. So if, and it's true, like if someone crosses a boundary with me, that to me is disrespectful. Number one, 80% of the time you're tied up, so that's really not a good thing to do. And number two, I have no problem inflicting pain. So even if they do not like pain, I will cross their boundary and they will get punishment for being basically disrespectful and naughty.
You should mind your manners with a well-armed sadist.
I know.
especially one that's basically got you restricted so that you can't fight back.
Right. Like, what are you thinking? Right?
That's a perfect example of the like not thinking ahead. Attitude. Like,
So one of the things I'm going to talk about, I think for next show, Isabel Debbie may come up. We're going to talk about online versus, you know, in person. But how does it time wasting different between, you know, pro doms and the lifestyle kinkster?
Well, for one thing, I think a big thing for pros is people pitching themselves as lifestyle and whatever, and kind of being like, well, since you enjoy this, then you must enjoy, you know, everything and anyone, and that's a time waster thing. And I think lifestyle, there's some overlap here, but lifestyle, oh god, lifestyle is always about I want to move in with you. I want to be chained in your basement and, you know, immediately be collared, and I want to be owned, branded, colored, blah, blah, completely, you know, blah, blah. That kind of thing. That's in a DS, very, very lifestyle DS way to just, okay. And so I think there's a lot of that is just the leaping ahead, the leaping into, you are a femdom and I want a femdom. So you're going to be, you know, I want you to be you don't know anything about me, you know? So I think it's presumption. It's extreme
Do you
presumption.
think that when money's involved, there's a greater sense of urgency?
I think it's a greater sense of entitlement. Urgency, sometimes, yeah, because they think they can get, you know, get there pretty quickly or have a taste or something like that. But you know, when I'm on like FetLife, for instance, and I see, you know, people email me all the time about like, oh, I want to move. They always want to move from somewhere far away. I want to move from the Midwest, or I want to move from, you know, East Coast or something. It's like, they always move from someplace far away. And, you know, and they're always like assuming that I have a fucking basement to put them in and just this and that and the
Or
other.
cage.
And
I'm not going to mention it.
and they right. And they never have a job. They're always like, I'm going to live with you and be your full-time property. Oh, so I'm just supposed to pay bills for both of us? Is that what you're telling me right now?
Yeah, doesn't that just sound like
I was like,
having a
no. I
booster
was about to say we'll just let you
boyfriend?
starve. We'll just put you in the basement and just let you starve.
Yeah, right. You can say
Yeah, because we all want to be charged with murder.
It's
like-
death by darkness. It's death by darkness.
You know, I think it would be hard. I mean, I don't obviously I don't date, I don't whatever, nothing. But I couldn't imagine, I would think it would be even harder lifestyle. I think lifestyle would attract more predators. Am I right? I don't know if I'm right. I think that, you know, lifestyle,
yeah.
I think it attracts a lot more people that have a giant, there's a lot of different personalities. There's a lot of different issues. A lot of people.
When you could flip it, does it attract more vulnerable people?
Yes, I would say yes. I would say because I feel that the kink community, which it should be, is more open to accepting others that are different.
Mhm.
And I think that it attracts a lot of people that possibly are just searching for something, that want to be accepted, that want to have someone, and their way of thinking like, well, the only way I'm going to find someone who will care about me is, you know, letting them hurt me. And I mean, I have clients like that, you know, they're not really into any sort of kinks or whatever, but they also need that connection with a person, and they're not getting it in the normal dating pool, you know?
You know, I have to say too, this makes a point come up for me, is what makes me most angry about time wasting with the kind of, oh, I want you to do these things, whatever. Motherfucker, there are people in the world who actually do want to do these things, and you not taking me, but not taking the kink for real, not being sincere about the kink, shits all over all of those people who actually are sincere and want to do something with a sincere connection. You're making a mockery of other people's self-expression. So anybody who sees that needs to kick the ass of somebody who's like, yeah, you know, I've talked to 20 different doms, and it's, oh, you know what is another one? Oh, this is good. And I'm looking for my lifestyle mistress. I'm looking for my long-term commitment, because they'd have already run through dozens of doms who they just couldn't click with. Yeah, I wonder why. Because none of them wanted to put up with you. Or they're, oh, you know, she didn't really, whatever. No, you're just a flake and a time waster. And, you know, you might do one session or something, but that whole like, oh, I just haven't met anybody. And that's a big thing with lifestyle too, where it's like, oh, I want, anytime they begin a sentence with I want, and it's always, it's this thing of, and it's the people who they're so sincere and they really want to be in that place. And it makes it harder for them. Because then, it's kind of like it's their signal is getting obscured in the noise that time wasters produce.
But one thing I have to say definitely about the profiles on FetLife, and stuff like that. So I'm writing my new book, and I'm going through all this stuff that person I'm writing the book about that she wrote, and this book, my book, shows both profiles and what it's like incomplete. So it's, and the thing I noticed about it wasn't like I'm looking for a lifestyle dom. It's more both of us were just saying like we're kinky people just trying to get by in the world. Literally, we don't have any expectations. We we're literally just and this is what we like, and no one seems to understand it. Like we both had that kind of energy, and the honesty. So I urge everybody out there online, and that's the next question: online versus in-person time wasters. Online, if you're making a profile, be real. Please just be real. Just be like it's not of the master of this, of the master of like the dom of doms or whatever. These douche canoe male doms profiles out there. Oh my god, we could have a show just going looking at it. I'm not that kind of guy though. It's not that kind of show. It's a positive show. So please, everybody, I urge everybody, read the profiles, read the websites. Mistress Sophie said it perfectly. It's on the website. It's on the website. You know what? It shows respect that, I respect you enough to have done my research to know about you. So if I'm not going to waste your time, so the next question I ask you or text you is going to be something, is going to be something useful for you. Please read. So online versus in-person time wasters. What are the major differences besides the fact that it's online? But do they act differently? With the rise of the online BDSM communities in FetLife, basically the question is, how do time wasters manifest differently in virtual spaces compared to in-person?
There is one I have actually done very recently that's almost, I would say it's actually stopped about 98% of time wasters dead in their tracks. So when you actually look at my website, I actually have like a word trap phrase on the actual website. And I can always tell, I call it a word trap.
Oh, okay.
And I always know when people have properly read my website, because at the top of every message, it will say this one sentence.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And if it's in the email, I know. If no one else has put this, I know they've only half read my profile or not even bothered. So that's why I say it's almost a little bit like being a cop. And you get like that cop's like gut feeling where you literally say like, this person's guilty, this person's guilty, or this person is innocent, or this person did this crime. It's almost a bit like that, but you can always tell. Just always tell. And I do. I always can tell. And every single time I get a session application come through my emails or my messages, and it has this one sentence in it, my senses are just immediately heightened. I'm like that.
Interesting. Yeah.
I'm not actually going to say what that phrase is here on the podcast, because I actually want people to go to my website and read it so that they know.
Okay, I was going to go to your website and show it, but yeah.
Yes.
All right. So preventing time wasting. What are some strategies kinksters use to protect their time and energy? Sometimes it's literally just no. I'll say it funny too. I'll just go no. hey Nick, you want to do it? No.
Okay. I'm pretty sure they do memes and stuff like that.
The simplest word to say, the easiest and the hardest word to say is no. Chuck D. Yeah. So, Mistress Claudia, what strategies can kinksters use or to protect their time and energy?
I think that it depends too. It depends on if it's for a professional setting or a session, or if it's for, you know, meeting up at like Munches or whatever. I think that whatever it is, you know, open communication. If this person is, you know, continuously overstepping their boundaries as far as, you know, like if your website as a professional says something on it, like one big thing with me is it always says either text or email me. So when someone calls my phone, I just don't even answer because they're disrespecting me. So, you know, I don't know how on earth, you know, like I've met with people through FetLife, but I could never, some of the things that people just publicly throw out there with it makes me like concerned. It makes me concerned for their safety, their well-being, because you know they're putting themselves out there extremely vulnerable. And I think that as a whole, people need to be a little bit more aware and a little bit more you know, basically concerned about doing things like that, because you never know who's going to take advantage of that, you know.
That's a
And
very good point. That makes me think of sissy exposure. You know, do you
yeah,
ever have any clients who like want expose
yeah,
me as a sissy, expose me as a
yes,
sissy? That's dangerous. And not only that, it takes time and energy from you, the
yes,
Dom who's exposing
yes,
them. Who knows what the repercussions can be for that?
And we're
So how to
the
deal with
their
that?
asses in the legal sling if something goes down, because then we're the ones who are, you know, doing personal exploitation or blackmail or, you know, what is it, breach of privacy, something like that. And, you know, that's the thing, as Mistress Claudia said about like somebody who doesn't have good judgment about their own discretion. Associating ourselves with somebody like that is literally putting ourselves in the way of danger. They are now a liability. A few weeks ago, I talked about the guy who I had to dismiss because he was talking to my friend, being like, "Oh, I'm in love with you," whatever. Terrible judgment, terrible discretion on his part. He knows where I live. Do you think I want somebody like that? Like, as soon as I was like, "Oh, he has poor judgment about boundaries, discretion, everything else," it's not only disrespectful to me, it's a danger, it's a liability to my privacy and my safety now, because he is going to be like, "Oh, you know, whatever," or at least, you know, just like, I can't trust this person anymore. They're dishonest and they have terrible judgment. Why would would you have somebody like that around you? So yeah, so as far as strategies and stuff, are we at the strategies one yet? But yeah.
Now let's go to ethical considerations. So basically, newcomers. How do we balance giving newcomers the benefit of the doubt, and protecting, you know, ourselves from time wasters? 'Cause there's that balance. You're walking a tightrope. You know what I mean? It's a fine line between how nice how give am I going to be with my time, and how worth is it? You know what I mean? Everything's a transaction in a way.
Sophie, you're the
But
expert.
yeah. I love the way everyone seems to think I'm the expert on this. But no, I appreciate the vote of confidence. It's very positive. So, aw. But yeah, weirdly enough, I have actually had a hell of a lot of newcomers coming to me quite recently. And one of them actually turned to me and actually said, "I want to be a personally collared slave to you." And I literally turned to this person and I went, "That is a serious commitment." Bearing in mind that collar selection for me, right, it would be easier to qualify as a NASA astronaut or even become somewhat a member of Delta Force. This is how seriously I take collaring, right?
You're not wrong.
And the thing is as well, I mean, how few people actually qualify for those two agencies? You know, I literally sit there thinking, I even have a segment on my website that actually says I don't collar people for the fun of it, because it is a serious commitment. You know, it's almost like it's almost like turning around to someone and just saying, "Oh, okay, look, I'm just gonna dress myself in a bridal wedding gown, walk down the aisle, and just get married to someone who I don't even know."
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not gonna happen. Come on, guys. It's the same with collaring.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the thing. If a newcomer came to me and actually said this, I would say to them, okay, I will give you the benefit of the doubt. I will give you all the things that you need to take into consideration. But if you foul on even just one of those things, I'm going to bounce you so far out of this studio, you wouldn't know what happened to you. I am ruthless like that shit.
Yeah.
Seriously.
What about rehabilitation or exclusion? For example, in the kink community, there's the professional side of it, but then there's also the lifestyle side. In the kink community, there are lifestyle kinksters who go to, and doms and professionals, and professional subs too. They go to munches, they go to events, they go to parties, and they love that and require that for their mental health. They're that social, that social aspect of it is a huge part of it's huge for me. When I wrote this book, some people started talking shit about me. Some bullies straight up in the kink community lied. So I kept on pushing. I'm a man of my word. I did not waste the dom's time. I didn't waste anyone's time. I tried not to. And I just keep on pushing. So there was I felt some kind of exclusion from this small little group of people. And look, I mean, I'm glad I don't want to deal with those people because they were bullies.
Mhm.
You know, and I noticed that throughout doing the show and throughout being in the kink community, people get shunned and people get excluded. So my question is, should time wasters be given a chance to learn and improve their behavior?
Absolutely. 100%.
Really?
Yeah. But the thing is, if you think about it from that point of view, it's a little bit like when someone goes to jail. They go to jail, they do the time, they get rehabilitated, they come out. It should be the same for time wasters. I mean, I always say that if somebody wastes my time, if they then get back in contact with me again, they would literally have to work 4, 5, 6 times as harder just to get back into my good books again.
Yeah.
But the thing is that if you exclude someone permanently, you could potentially be putting a bad taste in someone else, because that time waster, for all that time waster could be a really, really nasty piece of shit that's just going to go around basically saying, oh, don't talk to that Mistress Sophie. She's a bitch. She's a cow. And things like that. And the thing is, when you are someone who's starting out, or maybe a new dom or something like that, if you're an experienced dom, you can just sort of go, okay, well, I've got 999 other people that will tell you that I'm the nicest person on the planet. But then you could just, if you're a newer dom, all it'll take is just that one bad review and you're screwed. So, that's why, it's a really fine line. Yeah, it is a really fine line.
Time wasters are more likely to search out and prey upon newer doms as well.
Mm.
And there are people who are just career time wasters and they'll never learn. There are some people who can be taught, like you said, Sophie, like, maybe they just need to have their eyes opened. They just haven't. There are plenty of people who don't have good manners out in society and in here and whatever. And sometimes people just need to be a little embarrassed sometimes. Like if they're a munch, somebody's like, no, don't do that, or something like that. Or if if they talk to other subs, if they talk to people who from whom they're not trying to get something, and they get peer support, and they're like, oh, okay, this actually works, this is what other people are doing, that's a really good way. There you have to kind of put a little bit of that legwork in. Some people just, I think some young people don't really realize how rude they're being. Like, look, you know, if you have this urge or whatever, and I always say, like, fine, you know, if you like my style, whatever, and you're not ready to book a session, I have content that you can go and watch. I have interviews that you can go and watch, whatever. You can get a feel for it. When you're ready, you can come back and whatever. But so I think it's good to draw a clear path to how they can improve. Be like, look, this is not okay. Here's what you need to do. I am gonna say, I don't know if you guys have seen this. I saw this YouTube clip where this one was walking around. It was kind of a parody of, like, you probably have seen that clip of the woman walking around New York for like 10 hours or something, and she keeps getting catcalled and hit on and stuff. This one was like a response or parody to that, where it was this one walking around, and she would just respond like over the top to catcalls. Like one guy was
Well,
like,
that goes to my next point. How can a time waster redeem himself? And we're going to get to this. One of the things I think is communication and education, basically, and that means like looking at the culture. FetLife's Return to Sender group is a good example. A good example of this. Return to Sender is a group on FetLife where you may be on there. people put their conversations up there, and they take out the names, but they leave the internal text. They take out anything like and that's an education. Wow, that's an education. It's great. I highly recommend it. It's hilarious. It's absolutely hilarious. So, Mistress Claudia, how can a time waster redeem themselves?
Well, you know, I think that, am I echoing?
yes.
Yeah, you're fine.
Okay.
I did.
I think a time waster could redeem themselves by respecting what they're told, respecting the protocol. If there is something that's spelled out on a website, read the website. That's why there's a website. So just respecting the protocol. If you don't know the protocol and you're told the protocol, now you know it. So do I think that there's a lot of, like, if there's someone just getting into BDSM, they don't maybe know, maybe they, you know, there's always that porn dynamic nowadays. So maybe they watch too much. Like, I just had someone that reached out and said, you know, I really want to see you and whatever. I'm super into deep French kissing. And I'm like, yeah. I said, I just flat out, I'm like, I do not deep French kiss. I don't kiss. And I do not sit on your face I'm not a face sitter. Like, I'm not going to sit on your face and stick your nose in me and stuff. Like, I don't do that. So, but they don't know that. They don't know. They see things and they think that's the way it is. And so I think what you said, Nick, communication is extremely important. And if you communicate with the time waster and then they understand and they learn from that, that's one thing. But if they continuously waste time, then forget it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And
shout out to Diana. Diana Estrada checked all this live, so I tuned in. Diana is a very talented poet who's in California.
nice.
Okay, so in the spirit of YKF's lighthearted yet informative style, so how could I want to try to approach it with humor. So that Return to Sender group, the humor of that is how the DOMs or just how the kinky people respond. Out of some people get fed up and they say some stuff. Sometimes there's a good saying. To try to nail it into them. So, what are some funny, creative ways to call out time wasting behavior when they're happening?
Okay, I want to finish my anecdote earlier about, like, girl going over the hill about heckling and stuff. So and each one was different, and you have to really carefully judge this, of course, too. And but like one dude was like, "Oh, girl, let's get married," and she was like, "Really? Yeah." And he was like, "What?" And she's like, yeah, let's do it. Let's go get married. Like, right. Yeah, absolutely. There's a court. And he's like, and she's like, oh, where are you going? I was going to introduce you to my mom. Just like, who are like extreme this, or I want to be owned or whatever. Like, some people actually will be like, yeah, I'll hand over all of my financials, but most people, yeah, it's like, if you actually, anyway. But that's I don't know, that would be
What do you do when someone's time wasting you? What are some things, creative ways to call them out?
Yeah, I guess like just kind of like mock what they say. Be like if they're like, oh, it's 10 p.m. and I want a session, and be like, yeah, absolutely. Let me just get out of my, let's just get out of bed, get on my butt. Like, basically be like mocking, but totally basically cheerfully mocking. Like, yes, absolutely. What you have just
Sarcasm.
Sarcasm, exactly. Absolutely. This sounds like a great idea. Perfect. Oh, and you only want to pay me $150? Oh, I'm so glad you said that, because I'm definitely not about the money. Oh, you know what? I'm so glad you recognize that I don't want to get paid.
Oh, shout out to Sestra. She says hi. She's a very talented artist. Manner. All over. Actually, it's new. Fellow Kinkster. Love you, Sestra. Mistress Sophie, we're ending it, but like, any creative ways to call out time wasting behavior?
You know what? I literally heard the best one the other day. I do know a few transgender doms, and they sometimes get messaged with daft things like, I really want to suck your cock. Anyway, this one dom come back with the best response ever. She just went, great, you know what? You can pay for my gender reassignment surgery and I'll mail it to you. Oh my God. She just went, oh my God, that is...
Well, that's to the chase too, because if they said yes, I mean, that does happen sometimes.
I mean, if that is an emotional countermeasure, I don't know what the hell is. I literally just cracked up when they told me.
Shoot for the stars.
That's a fucking class.
Mistress Claudia, any creative ways to call out time wasting behavior?
I just call it out. I tell them, like, you're a time waster. Prove me different. I just,
and that's not wasting time.
Right. Just like, you want to book a session, send the deposit, and then we will pick a time and a day. Until then, toodles. Like, I don't mess around. When I was younger, I was a little different, but now I'm just like, you just know.
Just know.
What's funny, I'm not proud of it, but if anyone is out there has ever done cocaine, any kind of amphetamine, or just like, there are certain pills, it's like, prescription medication that are like speed, right? And they get you this, like, now's good, before would have been better, it's like, you got to handle everything now, like, and always moving, always building, always constructing. That's what, like, Wall Street, a lot of governments do it too. You could tell they're all coked up, right? I don't do any. I am sober. I am proud to say that I am sober. I gotta admit though, dealing with doms and dealing with the culture and the lifestyle, it's never wasting time. So I have that energy, and I feel like, oh my God, I'm like, like, all my senses are active. I'm high. I'm talking a little high. I'm talking, very. It's the lifestyle, it's the culture. So with that being said, everybody, we are not promised tomorrow. We are not promised tomorrow. We are not promised tomorrow. Please, you know what? If you love someone and you're around them, tell them you love them. Show them you love them. Because they may not be around tomorrow, and you may not be either. And when it comes to kink, life is short. That's why you're kinking out. That's why you're a kinkster. Because you realize life is short. You want to experience something. You want to know who you are. You want to, So do it now. please, everybody. Oh, I can't. I have to say this. How can I forget this? Please go to yourkinkyfriends.com and get 50% off all inventory at Locked in Lust with offer code YCAF. Get the Vice and the crotch rocket, which we call the saddle, squirt in seconds. It's great when they're used together. It's magnificently fun. Please support the show. We need sponsors. We need guests. We need art. We need people. Make remixes of us. Do some fun stuff.
Ooh, I like that.
And please buy a book. Read. Just start reading again. It's beautiful. It's so much just better than television and the internet, and just like get lost in a book. You'll thank me later. Please. Everybody have a great weekend. Oh wait, I gotta set this up. Have a great weekend and be cool, be kind, keep an open mind.
Taking over the cops. Boss.